Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 15, Economic Development, lecture number 9. Friends, in this chapter, from the very beginning, we understood about the meaning of economic development. We understood that economic development is very important for any country. Each and every country aims for its economic development. Friends, we understood that economic development is very important for the development of any country, and that is why the main aim of the country is economic development. Friends, we learned about the indicators through which this economic development is measured. The main indicators were the national income, per capita income, and the standard of life, the living standard of people. Friends, when we were talking about this national income, that is the total income of any country, is considered as the national income. Per capita income, again, when we have to understand that what is per capita income, it is when we have to find the per capita income, then we have to divide our national income with the total population of our country. Then we get the per capita income. The third indicator, friend, that is the living standard of people. Economic development is decided on the standard of living, the high standard of living or low standard of living. It is derived that whether the country is economic developed or not. We also understood about the important difference between economic growth and development. The three major differences, that is on the basis of developed, we can say, that is quantitative aspect and qualitative aspect. If any country has only increase in quantitative aspect, that is the national income or per capita income, then we can say that there is economic growth in that country. But if any country has increase in the qualitative aspect, means if the quality of the standard of living of that country is increased, then we can consider as economic development in that country. We also understood the major difference between economic growth and economic development on the basis of change in economy. If there is the change in economy, if there is the production due to the different researches in different fields, then it is considered as economic development in that particular country. We understood the example of the farmer. A clear example was that if the farmer is using proper machineries, hybrid seeds, lots of researches in the farming if he is doing, then it is considered as economic development. But if the same farmer is increasing the production through more agricultural land, then it is called economic growth. Friends, in the same way, we understood the major difference on the basis of developed and developing countries. If the national income of the developing country is increased, it is considered as economic development. But if the national income of the developed country is increased, it is considered as economic growth. Because these countries are already developed and still their national income is increasing, and that is why it is considered as economic growth. While on the other side, if the national income of developing countries, they are on the path of developing, and so if the developing countries national income is increased, then it is considered as economic development, because they are making development in the field of developing. So friends, we understood that the aim of each and every country is economic development, not economic growth, because only through economic growth the country's progress cannot be measured. Only if national income or per capita income will increase but the standard of living will be low, then this economic development cannot be considered in any country. It can be considered only if the standard of living is increased in any country, and that is through economic development. Friends, we understood about the different features that are related to this developing economy or developing countries, like the less per capita income in the countries that are developing, that are on the path of developing. Their per capita income is less. Another feature that we understood, that is the population growth. We understood that these developing countries population is always high in comparison to the national income of that country. We also understood about the poverty as an important characteristics of this developing economy. Then we understood unemployment, dependence on agriculture. Most of the developing economy or the countries that are on the path of developing, their basic activity or the basic occupation in that country is agriculture. Friends, also we learned about the dual economy in that country, improper infrastructure facilities, right? Improper infrastructure facilities, lots of such a form of international trade, right, in which the balance between export and import is not maintained. So we learned about such features. There are many such features which are very important of any developing economy, which are seen in this developing economy or developing countries. We also learned about the economic activity and non-economic activity. Any activity that is done for economic gain or economic benefit, then it is considered as economic activity, like the occupation of teacher, doctor, lawyer. These all are considered as economic activity. While on the other side, non-economic activity is the vice versa of the economic activity. That is any activity that is done without the purpose of economic gain or economic benefit, in which money is not involved, then it is considered as non-economic activity, like social service, charitable work, right? Mother nurturing her child, lots of such work that are considered as the non-economic activities. Friend, we also learned in our previous lecture about the classification of economic activities. That are these economic activities of any nation are classified into three sectors, that are primary sector, secondary sector, and the third one was service sector, or we can say tertiary sector. In primary sector, we include the activities that are related the agriculture occupation, like agriculture, and the activities related to agriculture. Friends, here we understood about lots of activity like collection of forest products, cattle rearing, cattle breeding, right, mining of raw materials. Lots of such activities are considered in the primary sector. We also understood the income in this primary sector is less compared to secondary and tertiary or service sector. Friends, the second sector that we understood, that is secondary sector, or we can say industry. Here, all the activities that are related to the production or manufacturing, that all are considered in secondary sector. Here, from the production of any small pin to magnetic machine, each and every production activities, these all are considered in secondary activities. Here, small and big industries, factories, this each and everything are considered in secondary sector. Friends, third activity that we understood, that was service sector, in which we understood that all the activities related to service, these all are included in service sector, like banking, communication, health, education, this tourism, entertainment, these all are considered in service sector, which have high income in the national income of the country. So friends, we understood about all the three classification of activities. Today we are going to cover another topic, that is the factor of production. Friends, today the topic that we are going to cover, that is the different factors of production. Different factors of production. Friends, let us understand about the different factors of production. When we talk about the factor of production, here it is said the main types of factors of production are land, capital, labor and entrepreneur. Friends, here the main types of factors of production are land, capital, labor or entrepreneurship, we can say entrepreneurship. So these are some of the important factors of production. Let us learn about each and every factors of production one by one in detail, starting with the first factor of production, that is land. Let us understand about the first factor of production, that is land. Here it is said that with respect to economics, land, when we talk about in the field of economics, here it is said land means different types of natural resources. Friends, when we talk in the concepts of economics, here it is said that with respect to economics, in economics, land means different types of natural resources that are used, the natural resources that are used in the production of anything, that are considered in land. So here it is said the natural resources includes forest. If we talk about natural resources, it includes forest, rivers, mountains, minerals. When we talk about these natural resources, forest, rivers, mountains, minerals that are, we can say minerals present in the interior of the earth, minerals present in the interior of the earth, metals, etc. Friends, here it is said, when we talk about the land in any kind of production as a factor of production, then this land includes each and every natural resources like forest, rivers, mountains, minerals that are present in the interior of the earth, metals. If any of these things are used for the purpose of production, then it is considered in the part of land as a factor of production. So friends, here it is said, these resources helps us to produce things. Here it is said that these resources helps us to produce things, and hence land is the major factor of production. Friends, here it is said that these resources helps us to produce things. Through these, lots of things can be produced, due to which we can say land becomes an important factor of production. Through the use of all these things, the production can be increased, and that is why land becomes an important factor of production. So, friends, you might have understood about the first factor of production, that is land. Friends, let us understand about the second factor of production, that is capital. Let us understand about the second factor, that is capital. Here it is said that capital is man-made resources. As we learned in the previous factor, that is land, land includes the natural resources. Same way, here when we talk about capital as an important factor, here it is said that capital is a man-made resources. Capital includes all the man-made resources. Here it is said that when we are talking about man-made resources, here it is said producing goods and services, producing goods and services would require, when we talk about the production of goods and services, it is said would require certain equipments. When we talk about the production of any goods or service, it will require certain equipments, tools. It would require certain equipments, tools, office or we can say other production space. Other production space, etc. All these form a part of capital. These all form a part of capital. For the production of any kind of goods and services, here it is said it would require, if we want to produce any kind of goods or any service, if we want to produce, then what we require? We require certain equipments for that. We require certain tools for that. We also require office if we want to provide any kind of service that we are talking. We require proper office for that, or other production space we need for that, right? So all these form a part of capital. If we say that if we are purchasing any kind of shop, then that shop is also a part of capital, because it is one kind of office or other production space from where the production can be formed. Here it is said, thus capital as an important factor of production. Thus, capital as an important factor of production includes property, investments, assets such as machineries. If we are talking about assets, that is valuable thing such as machineries, furnitures, vehicles, etc. Vehicles, etc. Friends, here when we are talking about capital, each and every important factor of production that includes, like as I give you the example of shop, that means if you are purchasing any kind of property for the purpose of production, if you are doing any kind of investment for the sake of production, if you are purchasing any valuable assets like machineries, furnitures, if you are purchasing furnitures for your shop or any company factories, furnitures, if you are purchasing vehicles for the sake of your business, then these all things are considered as a part of capital, and that is why here it is said capital is an important factor of production. So friends, you might have understood the second factor of production, that is capital. Friends, let us understand about the third factor of production, that is labor. The third factor of production, that is labor. Let us understand what is the meaning of labor. First of all, understanding the meaning of labor. The mental or physical work done by a person, the mental or physical work by a person with the aim of obtaining monetary gain, with the aim of obtaining monetary gain is called labor. First of all, friends, let us understand the meaning of labor. Friends, normally when this word labor comes to our mind, normally maximum people, they think labor means the persons who are doing very cheap work, they are working at the construction sites or doing any kind of physical hard work like pulling the cart. These kind of the people working at the construction sites, these people are considered as laborers. We consider that these people who work on daily wages, they are considered as labor. But it is not that. If we look at the definition of labor according to economics, here it is said that the mental or physical work done by a person with the aim of obtaining monetary purpose of monetary gain means economic gain. For the purpose of economic gain, if any person is doing any kind of mental or physical work, then that person is considered as labor, right? If for the exchange of any kind of activity, if that person is getting any kind of monetary gain, if any kind of economic benefit is obtained by any person through his activity, then that person is considered as labor. Though if that person is doing any kind of mental work and if he is not doing any kind of physical work, then also that person is considered as labor, right? And friends, so you might have clearly understood about the meaning of labor. The mental or physical work that is done by a person with the aim of obtaining monetary gain is considered as labor. Here it is said, labor is a living factor of production. Here if we talk about this labor, this is the living factor of production, means the factor of production that has life. Up to now, the two factors that we understood, that is the land and capital, these were the factor of production that were in the form of non-living things. Like in the land we understood about the natural resources, right, which have the life. But again, these are the living factor of production through which they work and they obtain monetary gain, economic gain. Though natural resources, many natural resources like the plants, from the forest trees, these all are living, but they do not get economic gain, economic benefit. But here, this factor is getting economic gain due to his activity, and that is why it is considered as the living factor of production. And friends, here it is there. If we talk about the work done by a farm labor, teacher, work done by a farm labor, teacher, farm laborers, teachers, workers, doctors, farm laborers, teachers, workers, doctors, artisans, etc. are considered labor. They all are considered as labor. Here friends, the work done by any farm labor and teachers, workers, even the doctors. Doctors, we can say they do mental as well as physical work. If they are doing any kind of surgery, they do mental as well as physical work. So friends, doctors are also considered as one kind of labor. Teachers, they are doing same way. They are also doing mental as well as physical work. So these all persons like farm laborers, teachers, workers, doctors, artisans, they do their activity. In the exchange of what? They get monetary gain, and that is why these all are considered as labor. So friends, you might have understood about labor as an important factor of production. Friends, let us understand about the fourth and the last factor of production, that is entrepreneurship. When we talk about this last factor of production, that is entrepreneurship, here we say the person, if we talk about entrepreneurship, what is entrepreneurship? Then here we say the person who efficiently combines, the person who efficiently combines the above three factors of production, the person who efficiently combines the above three factors of production, that is land, capital and labor. Land, capital and labor is called entrepreneur. If we talk about this, it is considered as the person who efficiently combines, the person takes care about combining all the three factors, that is land, capital and labor. That person is considered as entrepreneur, right? Like the person who is the CEO of a company, he takes care of the land, of the factor of production, he takes care of the capital, the investment, purchasing of property, and the third, that is the labor. He takes care of the labor. We can say the owner of any company, that is also considered as entrepreneur. Means the person who efficiently combines all the three factors of production, that is land, capital and labor. If all the three factors are combined by a person, that person is known as entrepreneur. The process of combining process of combining all the three factors of production so that the production can be actually done, is called entrepreneurship. Friends, here what is entrepreneurship? Then here it is clearly said, the process of combining all these three factors, that is land, capital and labor, and through that the production is actually done, and through that the production is done by combining land, capital and labor, and that is called entrepreneurship. Mean friends, you might have understood the meaning of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is the person who combines all the three factors, and by combining these three factors, when these entrepreneur actually makes the production, then it is called entrepreneurship. So friends, you might have understood the four factors of production: land, capital, labor and entrepreneurship. Thank you.